right, we are live, and hopefully this isn't going to crash, as we're living in a new age of me finally updating OBS because the NDI plugin now works on the current version of OBS. So I can now say, you are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Hello, excuse my appearance.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of April the 15th to April the 21st of 2023. We've got excellent connection, says YouTube, so I'm happy about that. Move that over into that screen. Nothing has crashed. Everything's working. I've upped the video we're outputting, so hopefully all the problems we've had will be in the past and we can have entirely new problems from here on out. As we start with Uncle from Another World, episode 11. No, I wasn't looking at anything dirty.
The show continues to be horny.
It does, yes.
The younger characters are the horniest characters, but not any of the characters in memory, because those are flashbacks, so that doesn't count, right? Does it count?
Well, they're 20, as we learn, they're 20 years old in the flashbacks in the memory. As is turns out to be a plot point. But yes, the nephew and his would-be girlfriend are indeed definitely the horniest characters. Except perhaps Elf. Elf might be hornier. He just shoots somebody with a railgun in order to keep her away from her man.
Is that horny or just dangerous? Yeah.
No, man, she's fun. She's like, she'll never say it, but her actions always suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
She is tsundere before the uncle was aware that that was a trope. Yeah.
So we open with dramatic fight against some monsters. We've got some sort of psychic ape. I was trying to remember, is that a D&D monster?
I was trying to think of it as well, and I was the only thing I could remember was that that gorilla in Conan who thought he was a wizard.
I mean, he thought he was a wizard.
I mean, he killed the wizard that he was the gorilla of and just started dressing like the wizard, but he was a gorilla. So
he was the original MASHLE.
less handsome, but yeah, basically.
And also some birds with halitosis that causes the spirits to not want to do magic in the area of which these birds are breathing.
Because initially, like the nephew and the girl are kind of like, "Oh, that's really fucking cool, like an anti-magic bird." It's like, nah, their breath stinks, and the spirit's like, "Ugh, stinky. I'm not going to interfere with anything over here."
Nature is disgusting, including magic nature. That is the one thing that is like shared between our dimensions.
So yeah, it's basically like the uncle can't do all of his cool spells, which is like, as he says, he only scores like a 1 or 2 in PE, and they're like, out of what? Because they see him just like desperately fucking running.
Two or 3 out of PE.
2 or 3
also comment
in PE.
That the PE teacher must have been kind to him by not giving him the lowest possible score.
He's a run-down, ragged 20-year-old man by this stage, you know? What you keep forgetting, you know, it's the face thing, but also it's just me sinking into the bats, going, "Oh, me bones!" Oh, it's like, you're 20 at this stage. You've had a hard run of it, but gosh, come on.
I mean, like, he looks like that when he's 20, but he's going to look like that for years to come. That's not great either. Okay.
Yeah, so takes down one of the birds with scrolls, pre-prepared spells. And then the other bird is taken down by some sort of attack from the mountains because the elf has found the
scabbard
that she was looking for. When it turns out that if you put a magical sword in this scabbard, you can turn that magical sword into a railgun.
The nephew and the girl are watching this on their own because in the meantime, the 2 lads going with the heroes party, they're like, "Oh, we'll take care of this. We got to show him. We got to catch up to his level." And the uncle's like, "Oh, it's about me." And they're like, "Yeah, they're talking about you. They really look up to you." It's like, yeah, character who has not appeared in this anime. He's the guy we got to catch up. And the uncle has to go have a cry in the bathroom essentially. Yes. He comes back and he's fine, which is another plot point.
Yes. But it turns out while he's in the bathroom, they do say nice things about him as well.
He's pretty cool
They
too,
do.
I suppose. Yeah.
He's a weirdo, but he is powerful and cool, and he's been really sound out to us. And it's like, oh, Uncle, you should come out. And he's just screaming from the bathroom.
Shut
no,
up!
I'm having a good cry.
Yeah. But they get
He's
possessed
alright,
by the
though.
they get possessed by the psychic ape, and they're chasing the hero and the uncle. And he's like, he speaks to the hero. So, is there not anything you can do with your magic staff that's got a feature to break their spell?
Yeah, have you tried its second function? And
He's got a
it's
button,
like it's gonna.
trigger. You know, how about if you unscrew the top and it engulfs like the hypnotized people and us in two pillars of light, and it's like, oh, okay, well now we kind of kept isolated away from each other, we can figure something out here. That's pretty neat.
And also, it's another case where he's accidentally physically coming onto somebody, attempting to save her, and she takes it entirely the wrong way.
Yeah, she just shows up in that bath, and saying, "Oh, looks like the monsters that broke down the screen are sharing, like, the men's and women's baths. So, I guess I'll just have to share it with you. Don't worry, I'm fully clothed, even though when it's soaking wet and clinging to my form, it leaves nothing to the imagination."
I mean, she's basically wearing two towels stitched together, and the stitching comes loose. But that's later. In the meantime, they still are in a fight. Yeah. So basically, she casts some kind of spell that's like invoking the power of her friends and friendship.
Yeah, so basically, activating the staff means she can now use the skills of the rest of her party.
Yeah, so it's a
so-
good power of friendship, as in I have your punching power now, punchy guy, that kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Instantly defeats the ape after they've broken the spell.
Hmm,
So then we get the bath. Then as she's entering, she's like, "Oh, you can't see. Don't worry, you can't see anything." And then as she's walking across, the viewer sees that the thread holding together the towel is being pulled away, and he ends up accidentally flashing him, which then causes his uncle in present day to get a nosebleed. And they're like, "Oh, you must have wiped your memory.
You must
of
be
this."
horny. And he's like, no, I got a nosebleed from regaining the memory of seeing her naked because I did wipe my memory of seeing her naked.
Yes.
And it's not because I saw anything lewd, is the title.
Yes. And then we enter another serious bit where it's like the stuff where he's been merrily wiping their memories for entirely frivolous reasons comes back to bite him because we learned that the hero has no memories from before she was 9. The trauma of her family being killed by goblins has wiped that out from her memory, and so now he's like guilty, and he admits that, oh, there was 2 times I wiped your memory.
Yeah, when he realized that memories are so important to her and it's a thing that she's lost, he's kind of like, I wiped your memory like twice at this stage. So he reminds her of the things that happened to her. If she gets the nosebleed, thus proving that regaining your memories is, I guess, enough to give you a nosebleed because
you're not remembering something like lewd or sexy. It's just like, I guess your brain is getting scrambled up from having your memories erased and returned to that. It's not anything dirty. It's not. It isn't like that. They haven't got anime in its dimension, even though it's very anime-like.
And indeed, they watch her memories as far back as they go, which is what guilts him into admitting it. But then she makes him promise as well, not only to not use that spell on other people, to not use it on himself either.
Yeah, because it's not good for you, man. It's not good to be erasing other people's memories, and it's not good for you personally, like, because we like you. You're a good guy. And it kind of comes up that he erased these memories not 5 minutes before this conversation from seeing him naked, and it's like, what did I erase? Show me the thing I erased. Tell me the thing. And she's like, all right, let me just strip off a little bit here. But then the elf goes kind of sniper crazy from the mountains, and it's just like, no.
And in between this, we've learned that they are the same age. In fact, she's older than the uncle. It's just how they get onto the memory stuff as well, because she's like, oh, my birthday's in August, but I don't know for sure what my birthday's in August. Because of my mysterious
she has like a child's
past.
drawing of "Happy Birthday, me," like torn up by goblins, basically. Yeah. But the uncle is also 20 and a few months younger than her, and she's like, I thought you were like 30 something. This was a different situation.
And then the punchline is they're like, well, but you broke the promise. You wiped your memory again when we told no. It's like, no, I did not use my spell. I use a special technique that middle-aged people can use just to power through bad things happening to them.
Yeah. What you do is you just emotionally die inside a little.
Just push it right down.
Just die a little more and a little more. And then if he's like, oh yeah, I can do that now. And he's just like his face going flat. And she's like, no, don't do it.
Working. I can get through things now.
Yes,
It'll
'cause his
all be worth it.
his advice was to start practicing while you're in your 20s.
Or therapy. I would suggest therapy. That's an option too.
Get a screen pillow.
Yes, surprisingly, like, sort of charismatic animation in this for a show which was struggling to actually come out.
Well, it is a Hot Springs episode, so they're going to like be a bit more interested in doing that one.
Yeah, but I appreciate that they didn't just put all the animation effort into the horny parts. They did, absolutely, yes. But the monsters that were attacking, the fire foxes
the two lads
that were kind of attacking.
Yeah, the two lads confronted the ape. That kind of got super fluid. Yeah, it was. Yeah, for something which, when it was coming out weekly, could be quite stiff. In the delays have somehow made it look better.
Yeah, they took the time to do it right, so that's good.
Yeah. We've seen this phenomenon sort of happening where, like, rather than, like, you know, it's something is adapting non-running comic, so we can adapt, like, you know, if we can keep it going. Yeah, I'm not ready to do that. Just say, but there's not enough comic there, so we gotta kind of keep it running. Put in some things like One Piece does, or like Naruto did. If I say no, you don't want to do that. Actually, take breaks in between. It makes it better.
Yeah.
And that also, it keeps the fun tail of this thing a lot longer. Spy Family, Demon Slayer, all that guys. You know, it's been the kind of this thing been running for years now, but no kind of stuff jammed in there to try and pad it out and make people lose affection for it because one thing, that long running thing. No, we see the kind of paying dividends with anticipation now. There's still way too much anime being made, but at least they're not like not one trying to keep that fucking hoary old thing going. At least, you can just get down to it.
Detective Conan, the Culprit Hanzawa, episode 11, Oh Fortune, in which Hanzawa realizes he's getting further and further away from his target. And because it turns out there's a lot more people live in this town where people are getting constantly murdered than you thought.
I appreciated his thing. It was like, all right, I got a base of operations. I've got a bunch of contacts. I am no closer to my target. I have no idea who he is and where. Not who he is. I have no idea where he is, basically.
So.
So yeah. I think it's the thing of like he decides like, how shall I get this thing? I'll go get my fortune fucking done at the shrine, and he gets maximum bad fortune, and it gives him the advice of do 100 good deeds a day and you'll become a new person. And he's like, I'll just clean up litter around town, and he gets complimented by totally random and not specific children for cleaning up. But there's some motherfucker who's leaving needles everywhere. A dog could eat that. What is that? What's the fuck? Like, I love that
damn
thing because
druggies. And there's so many outside this one particular building. And then he looks at the building. It's detective agents. I could hire a private detective.
I love the fact that you see the children walking by, so you know he's in and around the neighborhood they frequent. And if you're kind of watching the background, you're kind of looking at it, it's like, wait a minute, this place looks familiar. And then he sees the detective agency on the second story. It's like, we're here. All right, okay, that's fun.
It's just the idea that he's constantly being drugged outside his own office.
Well, I assume like as we see, he goes in and he's like, hey, can you help me find a guy? And Sleepy Kogoro is kind of like yawning. He's like, yeah, I guess I could help you. And he's like shaking his thing, and another needle falls out. Like when he goes back home, like the needles just kind of drop out of him and dangerously on the street where a dog could eat him. That kind of thing.
Remember now, he needs multiple shots to bring him down now. Like
he does.
He can withstand enough trying to bring down an African elephant.
So at this outrage of this fucking drugged out detective, like just messing with him, it's like, I'm looking for a man. It's like, yeah, what's he like? It's like, I think he's about 40 something. He's got a shitty little mustache, and he deserves a stabbing. Basically, is kind of what it comes to. But wouldn't you know, the most powerful schoolgirl in the world that Hanazawa has ever seen arrives on the scene. So he has to do a runner.
Go with the strangely angular hair.
He looks at her face, and then the camera like pans up to her fucking hair. It's like that's how he recognizes her.
As he does a runner, he walks past his target.
And if based off of the preview and the look of the fucking target, I know exactly why he'd want to kill this fucker. That guy's a piece of shit. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be what's his name, the Phantom Thief
Kaito
guy.
Kid, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Hey, last time we met him, it wasn't even him. It was.
That's true. It was a
disguised
guy
as
dressed
him.
up as him while he was dressed up as someone else. Yeah, or pretending to be dressed as someone else. Yeah.
I get the feeling the person who plays Genta is having the time of their life voicing him in this because it's exaggerated him even further than he normally is.
Yeah.
Just a total over the top version of him. Yeah, it's very silly, a lot of fun. Then we got Tengoku Daimakyo, aka Heavenly Delusion, episode 3, Kiriko and Haruki, in which we get the flashback as to what happened.
This is I assume the character profile gave that entire bit away on the website.
Yes, and this is the bit where I was reading it. I was like, well, this sounds potentially stupid, but I feel like the setup of it leading in from last episode as well, because you've got the idea of like you've had the what do they call the man-eaters?
Man-eater.
Yes, where the mum still thinks that it's the son absorbed.
It absorbs them into them to eat them, but does it absorb the personality? Is what?
Yes.
The way she
So
thinks.
it's like, are you still Haruki? Now you're in your sister's body, possibly.
Yeah.
Of course, they does give the other possibility that it is the sister thinking that they're the brother.
Yeah. It does. It's kind of like, between what we see of this strange facility where the children are like living this idyllic lifestyle. Obviously, it's something weird going on. Then you have the backstreet doctor, the big scar on his head, doing strange operations on people. It's like there's always just some kind of weird experimentation going on right here now, but this like new status quo with weird creatures running around. The scientifically unscrupulous or like have just trying things out, just fucking around and finding out what's going to happen to other people, of course, not them. So
yeah, but I mean, like a straight up brain swap is like the least weird thing that we've seen in the show. It's just like, well, there's invisible monsters running around in the post-apocalypse. I mean, like, yeah, swapping someone's brain is just like, well, at least I can understand that.
Yeah, but you kind of wonder, like, why did it so, like, unless. Like we don't see the full kind of thing of like essentially like the kid brother is getting eaten by a monster. The sister comes in and kind of saves him, but we don't see the kind of like the finish of that. But it kind of wakes up. And it's as far as we can tell, the younger brother's brain is put into the elder sister's body.
Yeah,
and that's it. But it's like, was she in any danger? Did she have her brain sucked out when we were looking? Or was he just fucking around just to see what would happen? Or
a lot of it is presented from the brother's point of view, so there's a lot of information we're missing. Yeah.
Yes. But there's a piece of information that I missed out there, and I missed, is that so essentially we learn about Kiriko and Haruki, their brother and sister. Kiriko's the older sister, Haruki's the younger brother, who seems to have a crush on his sister.
Because it's an orphanage that they run out of. It's not his like blood related sister. Like one of the things they're kind of getting across is this is a functional society in the post-apocalypse. There's electro go-kart races.
We have gambling. Yes.
They have currency and gambling, and they're doing pretty good. And one of the things is that this orphanage actually runs pretty well because she's a good racer, and a lot of the money she earns goes back into the orphanage to take care of the other kids.
Yes.
Because there's literally man-eating monsters running around. I'm guessing there's a lot of orphans running around as well.
And there's this older guy, Robin, who's also at the orphanage, who treats Haruki like his younger sibling because his younger sibling died.
He lost his sister
during the unknown event.
Yeah.
And yeah, this kid would have been around the same age, so it's kind of like he obviously has kind of an affection.
Gives him a sweet jacket. It's like, hey, there's something to remember me by, something you've earned.
He's overprotective.
I like the introduction to him as well because the kid's like, hey, these two guys are faking slips for the gambling of the go-kart races, and your man's like, I'm gonna fucking stab you, and it's like, how dare you pull such a small knife on me? Like he's super badass, cool guy. You can see like a kid looking up to him in this kind of fucked up situation, but he's like, good job, I'll make sure the Don gets knows you that you helped out, kind of thing. It's like, what's going on here?
We didn't see, but Haruki apparently killed a man-eater when he was told to stay back and not come and help fight the man-eater, so he gets told off.
Using a gun of his own design. It's kind of like a crossbow bolt shooting type situation.
Like a blunderbuss, because you can put anything into it and it just shoots out, because he's putting like
just a screw head, basically.
Nuts and bolts and things just launch out of it.
He spots an invisible man-eater at the end of the track, goes to deal with it. They've stopped the race. Sister goes to go and see what he's doing and discovers Haruki half-eaten in the monster's mouth. Gets him out, and then as there's only half of him left, and as she's standing over, like leaning over the top of him, he's seeing everything go black, but you hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
That's the missing bit of information. Who fired the gun?
And
what did what? Yes.
Or whom? And it lines up a lot of the stuff, so it explains why he has I guess the doctor moved the scalp as well, because now he has now he in the sister's body he has brown hair rather than black hair like she did, and also the amount of scars on her body were clearly from the accident of driving your fucking go-kart into a monster and just exploding off of it, basically. So it kind of like fills in a lot of those blanks with regards to that. As well, obviously, there's still a bunch we're missing. Like just
one as well. Like it's like embarking on a career of like I'm going to basically be like a bodyguard for hire for anybody, because I'm going to travel around and also try and find these people, this doctor and this other dude.
Because Robin, like they said, he died fighting a man-eater when she, the brother in the sister's body, is going around asking people questions about it. But they never found Robin's body, so it's like he might still be out there, and he might know what's going on with that fucking doctor and what happened to me and what happened to my sister, that kind of thing. It's a really fucked up situation, because the thing was just like, well, at least I'm in the body of someone I love.
Yeah, that's
shot
the weird.
Have a cheeky wank on him.
I was just like, this is weird. But we are talking like, obviously like a fucking not growing up in a normal society in the first place, teenager, horny child, basically.
Yeah, but I think this is, it's this fucking body horror aspect of it that kind of yes, you would be kind of morbidly curious about these kind of things, you know. You've awoken into this fucking new state of affairs, and it's like getting your wish, but not in the way you wanted it, you know.
Yeah.
It is weird when at the start when Kiriko like shows up with, here's my mad scientist friend, the doctor, and of course all of this sounds weird. It's not as weird as what's after the credits. What's after the credits is super weird.
That was such a good fucking ending to it, because at least this was a bunch of weird things which, while it's leaving a bunch of details out, you can follow through from A to fucking B to C, like in a linear fucking form, despite missing information.
The apparent cliffhanger, though, before we get to the credits, is the boat they're on is attacked by the drawing that the kid in heaven was drawing.
It's a big fish with lots of hands.
So
I'm guessing all those lovely animals that we're seeing, weird animals that we're seeing in the end credits, are like, wow, look at these fanciful animals, and it's just like, is that motherfucker designing these, or like seeing them in a vision or something like that? What the fuck is going on with that?
He's drawing like imaginary animals like babies. Is everyone saying, that's not a baby, I've seen a baby, I seen a baby once, the baby looked at me. And babies don't have faces when they're born. It's like, what?
Want to go see?
And I was just like, big eye is what she says as well.
Just, oh god, like babies don't have faces. He drew a weird baby with a face. Imagine a baby with a face.
Yeah,
that was disturbing. I mean, the whole episode had multiple disturbing things, but that one really went, Jesus, I didn't need you to end on that fucking horrible note.
And the heaven metaphor is added to that if somehow the things they're designing in heaven are
being made on Earth.
Yeah,
or Earth for everyone else, basically. Yeah. So it's interesting. Like I knew, based off of the last episode, the way they were kind of talking about it, like it wasn't like a it's trans related, but it's obviously not like a literal trans thing, because it's the body swap kind of thing. It's the messed upness of being in the body of the person you're attracted to. that's weird. That's not right. But there's allegory and metaphor there of being in the wrong body. But in this case, a mad scientist put you in it, so it's not quite one-to-one to
No, I don't.
any
And I
real
think,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I think the ramp up means that it's not designed to work that way.
No, I don't think that's the story they're trying to tell. Yeah.
No. Which was what I was worried when I just saw it in print on the Wikipedia
out of fucking
page.
context, I can absolutely see that looking like it's like that doesn't seem like a good look, guys. But yeah, they're going for something very different.
And it still looks great. And so yeah, that stuff after the credits, I was like, oh, that's even weird. Particularly because the one who's the most childish of those kids, she just moves in a creepy manner as well.
She looks like freaking Froppy from
Yes.
My Hero Academia.
But has this just because even with the whole like, oh, I saw that baby, the baby looked at me. It's like you're the fucking Ralph Wiggum of this fucking colony, aren't you?
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe.
Yeah.
Then we've got Hell's Paradise, episode 3, Weakness and Strength, in which half the cast appear to be killed off in the first episode, in the first moment.
Oh, your
Amazing
favorites.
stuff. Just like I gotta be impressed by it. It's like I'm a main character, and it's just like no, the main character is absolutely going to destroy.
No,
this
it's
guy.
not. I mean, like there's. Do not get too attached to like
anyone.
I'd say
seemingly, yeah.
about a good 2/3 of what, because even in the fun opening credits, it's like he's one of like the one of the executioners gets sent along. He's like the dude with the headband, his hair tied up, and fun, say, "Yeah, I'm a gung ho fucking action hero, dude." And literally, like in the opening of the opening credits thing, you see him like fucking dying with sword stuck in him. Like he's gonna be dead before he's even appeared in the main body of the program, but. But yeah, all those one to top one. Yeah, he's the kind of like the poisoner, and he's like the sexy seductress, and he's like the kind of the collector of weapons. Yeah, they're all those fucking archetype dudes who get killed off by the more interesting characters. Yeah.
Yeah, so the big part of it is you've got the Benkei looking guy, the weapons collector, fighting our hero because he's like, well, only one of us can get a pardon. So if I kill all the other prisoners and then start looking for the
I can take my time looking. It basically, yeah. It'll be easier for me if I'm not competing with anyone else if I take up the competition. And his executioner is like, that's fine. It's not against the rules, so I'm allowed.
Okay, look, if he dies, I'm going home. All right, I'm not sticking around because it isn't worth my job. Like,
whereas our hero is kind of like dealing with the problem of his very rules oriented executioner, where she's like, keep your hands tied at all times. And he's like, he's trying to kill me with all the weapons he brought, and it's like, keep your fucking hands tied. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll kill him with my hands tied. Fine.
If it's for my wife, I'll do it. And yeah, what to do is he's got big swords and spears and clubs, and he's just kind of fun bouncing off of him. He's fun saying, "Ow, stop it! Ow, stop it!" Fun saying, "No, I'll show you how to use those, pal." And he's got every last thing he had in his basket and his back impaled through him. Again, me going, Jesus Christ.
And the other executioner guy is going like, well, that's a fucking early day for me. I'm out. You're bad at being an executioner. She's the worst executioner of the bunch, basically. It's because you're too fucking strict. I wasn't strict with the rules, and now I get to go home early. Fucking easy day for me. You should go home early too. Just kill that guy. Who fucking cares?
I should know what to say. Do I gotta be strict with the rules? I gotta be loose with the rules? What the fucking thing about? Should I not be a woman? Oh God, I'm getting it from all sides from these guys.
Yeah.
He also, as he's leaving though, he goes and predicts a whole load of other things. The important thing being that this will fail. They send the second troop, and when they send the second troop, they're going to send this guy's ninja village in.
And those guys are monstrous, like him. So
yes, which that forces Gabimaru's hand to then start fighting.
It's like, if those guys are coming, I need to fucking win now.
Well, I gotta go. Sorry, if you're gonna hold me back, unless I gotta kill you for saying, oh, for fuck's sake.
And she's like, but the rules say if you kill me, they won't let you back on the boat. And he's like, if I succeed, it doesn't fucking matter.
They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know.
They would prefer me to succeed by breaking the rules than fail staying within the rules. Also, I'm trying to murder you now, but it's weird. I could kill that huge guy with all the weapons really easy, but I'm having an awful lot of trouble trying to kill you. I don't know what it is.
Well, she is quite skilled. Let's be fair. Yeah. And
she's good, but he just killed a giant man.
Yeah. And they go at it for a while, you know. It's fucking just putting the clanging swords off, you know. And he's fucking remembering, like, you know, from why he was taught and saying, "Oh, if you want to be strong, you know, you can't be weak. You can't be like have any kind of ties, any kind of emotions. It means you can't protect what's like, you know, important to you, which is actually the source of your weakness as well. So it is a very paradoxical thing. But you know, so he's been kind of been fed this like this very like." It's very kind of wrong philosophy about things. No fun. It just doesn't actually work. It's only kind of a thing that was used to kind of to control you. Like basically, if you don't work for us, we're going to threaten your wife and we'll kill her if you don't do what we say. And he's internalized that as fun saying, well, it means I gotta be strong to protect my can't be weak. But then everything that he's trying to protect is what's making him weak apparently. So why is he fucking? You know, he's a fucking. It's a weird kind of programming that you can't really escape.
I like it's kind of depicted as the village elder, which Gabriel does know that it's just like, yeah, the elixir of life is real. I know he took it, and that's why he did a demonstration for us when I was a kid where he couldn't fucking die.
Yeah, but like that's just some ninja bullshit because they tried to execute you when it didn't work. So do you think he might disguise on the up and up? I think everything he told you is completely
bullshit.
On the up and up. Yeah.
But I like the image of your man's kind of corrupting influence over him being destroyed by his wife's really nice influence over him, basically. It's a nice visual of that.
While all this is happening, Aizen, the guy who got loads of dialogue in the previous episode, gets his head caved in by the super giant.
What's that, big giant man? You're hungry. Ah, you've eaten my head. It is basically what happens. Also, we see it's just like all the guys, she's going to have sex with her handler and he's going to fight this other guy. And it's just like, no, everyone's getting murdered. Everyone's murdered all the time forever.
Yeah, which is the thing, because you thought, oh, he's got the eye patch. He's kind of the senior thing over Sagiri. So he's probably sticking around for a while. No.
Yes. He's like, this guy's got loads of design about him. No, he's dead. We see one guy, yeah, the guy who started the fight in the previous episode was being throttled by the monk, but he destroys the monk's arms. This is even before they've set foot on the land.
Yeah, that's on the boat on the way to the island. That fucker dies.
One guy was teaming up with the Kunoichi, and he's now got plants growing out of him. And she's slumped over nearby. The guy with
the swordmaster guy,
Swordsmaster, yeah.
He's okay, kind of.
Stung by a butterfly, notices his hand going weird. Notice the butterfly.
Well, he notices the butterfly has a man's face, and he's like, chop that fucking off.
Right. It's just decisive. He's just like,
his execution is like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, check it out. That butterfly's got a human face. Everything in this forest is fucked up. I'm gonna fight it one-handed with the sword that I got somewhere.
Yeah, like Gabby Mara pointed it out earlier on and saying this place isn't fucking right because there are plants that have no business like being in the same environment. You got like from hot places and cold places, and they're all growing together like it's no thing at all. So it's fucking weird going on.
It's interesting because everyone's like, wow, it's really quite beautiful. And it's like, nah, this is like a garden, but like a garden that's growing wild because you have like a lotus growing beside a lily, growing beside a rose. And it's just like, those things don't interact with each other like that. That's not right.
Also weird statues as somebody has carved. And then there's also not weird statues that are huge things moving around. And they got more arms and mouths and faces and things stuck to them than like something regular should. I'm a little perturbed right now.
Yeah, so the centipedes with like weird human faces. A fish man shows up. It really escalates incredibly quickly.
And it's so nice because all of that escalation happens after they basically talk it out and go like, all right, we got to work together on this, Gabamar, and like because you need to fight for the right reasons and not just randomly kill. And I'm just slowly putting your sword into a sheath to just go like, hey, let's fucking cut it here because this isn't going to work out. And then literally everything goes to shit. And there's a muscular multi-armed fish man threatening them. And I was like, fucking, they got bigger fish to fry, I guess, in this case. Yeah.
You know, a real badass, they don't kill off their emotions. They actually kind of take them with them and they keep pressing on anyway. That's what a real badass does. Because you're not who you used to be anymore. You're not, because you've been fucking thrown out of your clan. You don't gotta be that dude anymore. Said his wife and also Sagiri, coincidentally. So it's like you're gonna be that dude anymore, man. You can be your own man now. You can feel whatever you want to feel. It's natural. So just fucking go with it, like embrace it.
There we go. Chibi Godzilla raids again. Episode 2, the three-headed scary god Chibi Ghidorah. We should learn that each of Ghidorah's heads has a different personality.
That's always been the case, isn't it?
I think there's been a different thing where they've given them different personalities before. Not these specific ones. Where
oh no, not these specific ones. I know they had 3 personalities in that. What was that class fucking the last Godzilla movie that was really good? Each of the heads had like a different acting through it. It was very good.
I don't know. I've always seen it was a fan art thing about it saying, "Oh, yeah, like head number 3, like he's got problems." It's going like, and it's like head number 3 isn't all there. But
so one's nasty, one's nice, and one is nice, but he wants things from you.
Which is worse than at least that guy's just up front. He wants to use his gravity beam on me. That's fine. I get it. This guy wants to be manipulative. No.
And they all want a mushroom. And luckily there are enough mushrooms, but not enough.
The problem is they all want to be the one to eat it, but they don't want to gain weight from someone else eating it. So they all want the process of eating it.
So they get in a fight, and then the other problem is when they get into a fight, they all take damage because they all share the same body.
Yeah. If you bite the other head on its neck, that's still part of your body, so it hurts. And it's nice because it's like, oh, we found 3 mushrooms. It's like, oh, well, we need to find one more. Right, new friend, one for you, Mechagodzilla, or Chibi Mechagodzilla. Yeah.
Having watched this one and the next one, I think the formula now is when there's another monster there, it's like Mechagodzilla will have a conversation with the new monster, and Chibi Godzilla will contribute things which are entirely of no use to the conversation whatsoever.
You're gonna wreck it.
So it becomes like a man's eye between Chibi Godzilla and the new monster, and then like regular Chibi Godzilla is kind of I'm just gonna say random, useless fucking one-liners and dumb jokes. Yeah. Is that will that contribute to the man's eye? It's like, yeah, I guess it will. So
shutting things from the audience.
It's even more ambitious. It's even more ambitious next week because there's 5 characters on screen at the same time.
Yeah, I guess there was technically. Wait, no, there was 5 last time as well.
There's 5 here, yes, because they got 3 heads. Yes,
I'm like 3 of those are Ghidorah, but yeah.
Then we got Vinland Saga, season 2, episode 15, Storm, in which Thorfinn begins to put together his hypothesis at the end of the episode. But before we
what's the name of this show again? Sorry, my tongue. Yeah.
Before we get that, it's like, do not let her see her husband. Subordinate. I'm going to ride off and go and deal with what the old hag wants me to deal. In the meantime, do not let her see her husband. Please do not
bring
let
her
back.
Bring her back to the old man and have her take care of him. And he's like, "Oh, fucking the snake just rode off on her only horse." Also, she's real pretty.
I'm a big softy. I can't say no to a woman in distress, a crying woman. I guess what's the harm? She's only one woman. What can happen?
What could possibly go wrong?
So she comes in when she's distraught, to see Ghidorah in that state, and said, "Well, you're going to tend to his rooms, how about you tend to something else while we all watch?" If you know what I mean.
They're all being creeps, and then it starts raining. He's like, it's raining. Let's all go in. And he's like, Snake said we should all watch him. We only need one guy to watch him.
You brought her in. You watch her. Oh,
you do it. And it's like the contrast between her seeing the man her husband was, and also like the changed man he was, because he's like, I'm sorry. And you can tell that his sorry is, I'm sorry I left you in that initial fucking thing that you were like fucking mad at me about. The thing that went on to a series of decisions that ruined your entire fucking life.
Yeah.
And made you a slave.
However, he will do anything to get out of the situation, though.
But he is like, now let's escape with our son and get out of here. He's still crazy. He's still dangerous, but he is sorrowful. So it's the idea that this is the husband that she loves, and also something very fucking dangerous and different than that person. Yeah. It's an odd combination. And that guy who's sweet on women, he doesn't last any time.
Nope. Okay. Gets his fucking throat bitten out.
He's gone. And you can tell, like, because the other guy's like, what's going on out there? Oh, there's some kerfuffle. We got to go back in and get them. And he's just screaming at his wife the whole time. He's like, get his knife, cut my ropes. Let's get out of here. And I think it's we just see Snake come back onto the fucking thing of carnage.
Fucked.
And he's just more annoyed. He's like, "Oh, for fuck's
What
sake!
did you do?
Yeah,
I fucking told you."
Yeah, the amount of times he told people 5 guards.
Hmm.
Gotta leave
This
5
dude is
guards.
nuts. Like he's wounded, and
He's a
he fucking
wounded
killed.
beast.
He killed dudes.
Like, do not come at him with anything less than 3 guys. And we know 3 guys isn't enough because he killed them last time we had 3 guys on him. Ah, dear.
He's been wounded again though, so okay. This time I'm going. Well, I'm after him now. I'm going up and putting him down.
This time I'm not taking him alive.
Forget it.
Basically.
That's it. Fuck the reward. He's finished.
Meanwhile, in the morning, Thorfinn and Einar are up and about, though they haven't really slept because Thorfinn was staying awake, keeping an eye that Einar wasn't going to do anything stupid.
And Einar couldn't sleep because of all the fucked up things that are happening.
Yes.
He's not even aware of any of that shit over on the guests part of the farm. Yeah.
And yes, and then they have a discussion about the crux of the show from here on out. Is it possible to create a non-violent world? And the problem is the Norsemen are driven, they're raised to think in this particular way, and they're going to carry on. They don't see killing as being bad or war as being bad. And
so I can't change society because the inherent rules of society are like they reward or people are taught to behave in a violent way. If I could make a new society, like in a place where there wasn't a bunch of fucking Norsemen, for example, if only there was a place that was far away from here.
Out California way.
Mentions there was a guy called Leaf. He went to this place. It's so far away. We'll need more than just us two. We'll need a load of outcasts who want to believe in a non-violent society. Of course, at no point are they bringing up the idea that there might be somebody who already lives there.
I mean, like off the edge of the world, who could there be?
I think he should know because I'm pretty sure Leaf mentions it. Right,
I'm pretty sure he did mention it. The people that were very friendly is something I feel like he said.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we leave them wistfully thinking about how is it possible to change. It's essentially it's like he's come to the conclusion it's not possible to change the Norse people. Instead, we've got to find out other people who've been outcast by the Norse, and we'll go somewhere else and form.
Yeah.
We'll make a new society of not that fucking society that fucked all those people like us.
And this is where the friction's going to be with Canute, because Canute believes I am the king, I can change things.
Yeah. It's not just Norse people though. It's even like where Gardar and Arnheider from Sweden. You know, that's a different. It's Scandinavian, but it isn't quite.
But they're being influenced by it, basically.
But the thing is, though, the same thing as the fun saying, if we don't get this thing, they might, and that's gonna fun put us in a lower standing. So wait, that if one do, as we gotta fight them, if one saying, but why we gotta fight? We got everything we need here. Why we gotta do it this way? But it's like it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
If violence and like power is the thing that basically gets you places, they don't even need the iron. But it's the fact that if someone else gets the iron, then they'll kick our ass. I
think even Einar points out, even if you have like a peaceful society, there'll still be people out there who want to just rob your shit off you and bust you up. So you will need to defend yourself. So whether it's your policy of non-violence get you there, then. So with this, it's few things you gotta consider as well, Thorfinn. Like.
It's a very well acted and well written conversation between two guys. I really like kind of Thorfinn's thing. I was like, I don't think I could bear the weight of like killing like one more person. Like I'm done with that. Like I'm entirely done with that. And again, I imagine people going like, no, Thorfinn, you need to kill a bunch of guys like in season 1. It's like let him change.
I would the side I would come down from and saying, you shouldn't be killing anybody. You shouldn't need to kill anybody. Doesn't mean you shouldn't fuck somebody up if they're trying to like threaten you or your life or your loved ones. Like, I wouldn't be a pacifist. I am anti-war, but I'm not a pacifist.
Are you in favor of changing everyone's religion and killing a bunch of people for peace? That's the Canute option.
It is. Well, yeah, but he's trying to minimize that as well, though, because he's trying to.
I mean, like kill as little people as possible, but I'm still going to kill a bunch of people.
Kill some specific people. Like
rather than
the
general Viking of kill whoever the fuck you feel like. Yeah.
Make an example of them, if you will.
Yeah, and he talked about atonement as well. This is
Yeah,
important foreshadowing for next season, because it ain't gonna
yeah.
get to it this
Again,
season.
yeah, they don't have time, and there's other
No.
shit they got to deal with. But I did like the thing of is like if I could build a house for every house I burn down, that kind of thing. And I know I can't, but I can try, basically.
Well, he'll get plenty of opportunities to put his words into action because that's the rest of the show. Um, but that won't be for this season. He's got to get out of this situation first. Yeah, another really good episode. And I particularly like the conversation. It's like crystallizing everything about the series.
It's such a like, and again, it is the calm before another fucking storm that we still know is coming, but it's such a nice like calm conversation between two characters that we know after like the chaos that unfolded in the first half. Like it's a really nice balance. Yeah, I really liked how it played out.
It's just nice how like they kind of know each other and are looking out for each other right now, but as well, I'm not gonna like disappoint the expectations of my friend here by running off and doing something stupid. And well,
Yeah.
I respect him enough to not fucking bring trouble on him as well. I'm going to look out for him in case that he does, because this is a very fraught situation we're dealing with.
Then the sublime to the ridiculous. It's Marginal Service, episode 2, One Step and riddled with bullets.
Fucking yeah, this show is dumb as shit and it knows it.
It knows it,
It's dumb, but it won me over again a little bit more with this because it's just shamelessly going, "Hey, have you seen Predator?" We're going to say we're going to seen Predator, but we're never going to say it though.
Also, have you seen Men in Black? This is just like more things where a bunch of alien.
Have you seen James Bond?
Yeah.
Because the central gag in this episode is that the British guy and the macho American guy, one's James Bond, one's various Arnold Schwarzenegger characters, and our other two heroes are also on the mission. The two main boring characters. They're flying into an island, tracking down the magic mushrooms used in the production of the drugs they captured in the last episode. They get the helicopter blown up. They split up, and there's a lot of comedy with the James Bond and the Schwarzenegger type.
Yes.
Covering each other in, covering themselves in mud so they won't be spotted, but then
I'm blending into the jungle, and it's just like, but like slowly stealthing towards a guy in the open, like where it's just like that. Yes. It's not going to help at all.
Bolts, you needed that at least. You have the green uniform. You already blend into the forest. Yeah.
And he says this having already slathered himself in fucking forest muck, and also equally his problem. You know, they're running from the guys. Like, we need a projectile weapon. It's like, I got one, and he throws James Bond at them, misses, throws him into a river. It's like, he can't swim. I gotta go get him.
Why can't he swim? It seems like that would be.
He learns pretty fucking quickly. Fortunately,
they do mention that.
I didn't drown, but I turned to the bat.
My favorite.
They get covered then. No, they're covered like in like the front and say, he's like, hey, it gives me an idea. No, don't stop covering stuff and shit. Stop doing it, Paul. Stop it.
The
important dog lit off in a puddle.
The important lore drop of the episode is the reason why the Borderlanders were given legal rights is because they saved the world from aliens. Which now I think Zeno might be an alien, not a Borderlander, because they make it clear that Peck is the only Borderlander on the team.
And unfortunately, they maybe like him a little less because he's like, haha, I have to dive into breasts because I'm a little creep. And I'm just like, oh, god damn it.
It was amusing at first because it's a little chipmunk looking fun. Say, hey, fuck you, pal.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But then it's just like, oh, he's also a perverted chipmunk. Okay, great. All right. But I mean, like, they do fuck him out of it constantly. And I'm not sure he provides any useful function so far. No. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so it turns out all the people producing these drugs are dinosaur men.
Yeah, that was great. It's like, oh, they're all dinosaur men. I guess they're all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Bond and Schwarzenegger managed to find when they go in the river, they wash up by where all the weapons had landed out of the helicopter. They arrive, save the pair of them, throw the weapons, and our hero gets Brian gets a rocket launcher. He doesn't know which end to point it, but that doesn't matter because they solved that problem by having it launch rockets simultaneously at both ends.
See, we ever have that problem of flying it the wrong way now.
Yeah, it gets the reaction of him going like, "Whoa, it's holding it backwards," and it's like, nope, it's actually fine. It does the maximum amount of rockets that a rocket launcher can do.
And Brian, he's trying to be cool as well when the alcohol, he's got his shirt off when it's in. I'm going to fight him. I'm going to like do a warrior's ritual before they go into battle. And he does like Billy fun. He's covering across the like his
like, what the fuck are you doing? Body. The dinosaur man is, what the fuck are you doing? We all have like, they don't have ray guns or anything. They have like AKs, but still, we all are dinosaur men with guns on you. This isn't going to work, pal. It doesn't work. It's because the other two lads show up with all of the guns.
I told you I'd kill you last. What? No, you didn't. Yes, I lied.
That was great because like he shoots him with a shotgun with an inappropriate Schwarzenegger line because no, that's not. You didn't establish that earlier. We've only just met.
You didn't say knock knock before firing the shotgun as well, or your luggage or anything. You know.
He got the line wrong.
But that's the thing. You get it wrong all the way through. I love it.
Besides those two fucking goons being just absolute fucking idiots, I did like some of the other jokes where he's being like a real shit to the straight-laced character, and he's being a wilderness survival.
I know. I keep talking about too much and pressing on things about you being a fun thing, and then throw a spear.
Yes. It's like, there was a scorpion or a snake behind me or something, like, the little thing of blood, and there's nothing behind.
No, I thought you shut the fuck up. Shut up, the fuck.
I will stab you with my spear. Shut up. Which I was just like, that's funny. That's a good... It inverts action movie tropes and also just rolls around in them like dogs in muck.
Yes.
Literally in this case, but which I'm 100% fine with. That's great.
Yeah. Was the rocket launcher firing out of both ends? I was like, okay, I'm on board. At least until they do something terrible with whatever the thing in the background is about. Because that's still the weird thing. I don't think it's going to handle
it any kind of subtle kind of way. Like maybe we should listen to Bigfoot is so far the only lesson that it's kind of saying. But, it was like a Wolfman, a Kappa, and what was the third guy that showed up to fight that alien?
It was like a fucking purpose of that. I think that's the fun thing about what I'm saying. It's Predator, from you got fun, you got this, you got that, and then you see like the dudes lined up and they're just like standard marginal servers like formation of just like standing alone. It's like a hail of gunfire leveling the tree line, like in that one thing. This reminds me of like a film I saw. Oh yeah, the fucking confidential video of the Borderlanders when they kill those aliens. Not any 1987 film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and Bill Duke.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist in this reality.
I mean, maybe it doesn't exist in the reality because one of the reasons that the tech guy seems to be on board is he gets to watch that sweet movie of all the monsters shooting all the aliens. So maybe they don't have action movies in this universe, so they have to make their own.
Well, see, Predator was actually a confidential intelligence tape itself. It was like fucking found footage of a mission gone wrong.
Oh dear.
There we got Dr. Stone, New World, episode 3, First Contact. An episode in which the great ending has completely erased the rest of the episode from my memory. Because boy,
dude, I was really enjoying the episode, and I was like, oh, I forgot that's what this was fucking leading to. Because I'm thinking like, why did they go to Treasure Island again? I can't remember why they go to Treasure Island. It'll come back to me. And I was just like, oh right, radio. I forgot about the radio. Yeah.
Yes.
It's mostly about we're just kind of putting the bits together. We're going to find the oil field. We're going to moving on from growing crops for agriculture. We're also going to move on into animal husbandry. We're going to get some boars here. We're going to kick a bunch of those because they're going to find truffles. Because you want to find truffles, we want to make some fancy treats.
Initially, it's we are looking for oil, but to be fancy in the meantime, we're going to make a really high protein thing, which would be great for the trip, which is like roast boar with truffle kind of sauce and that kind of stuff. And it's like, that sounds really fancy. It's like, yeah, we got boars. We can use the boars to find the truffles. We can fall in love with the cute little baby boar, and we won't eat that one.
Well,
And
technically,
also, we'll tie into a little anecdote I heard of when they discovered this oil field back in the 1800s that they found this pig born in the forest and it was just fucking reeking of oil, reeking of fucking like black muck. It's just like, if you just find where that pig came from and find where it went to, we'll be able to find that weird black puddle. It's the oil. We found it. It was here on the air photographs all along. The pigs didn't do it away. Thank you, pig, for. We won't eat that one. It's like no, it's covered in oil. It's fit for human consumption. It's like, oh, Francois, you softy.
Yes,
You can't bear to have Suika be heartbroken. Oh, just bring Suika back and said, hey, it's me, the great Tender Suika and Recycling Chalk. We'll find your pigs for you. We'll find all your like forest goodies for you.
So I like it's the Francois being kind and Senku also being kind without ever admitting that they actually care about other people. It's just like, no, I'm just being a professional butler. It's like, no, I'm just being scientific. I'm not helping out a small child because she's adorable and we love her and she needs to be protected at all costs. No. It's completely for serious reasons. None of that.
And so they build a motorboat so they can test the gasoline that they're going to take from the oil.
So all 5 of you pile into this 4-seater boat. Thanks.
I did like the thing of Taiju showing up. It's like, you've made love potion. Like in the first episode. Remember the first episode? I actually I'm a dumb as a brick, but I do remember everything you tell me. And it's like, well, if it smells like petrol to you, then it's probably petrol that we've made. Fantastic. Okay, success. It's still funny to me that I keep forgetting his name. The radar operator guy.
Ukyo.
Ukyo is one of the main characters, but he's just going to be the straight man to all the fucking weirdos, basically.
Yeah, so they head out to the boat and then they start getting a signal while they're discussing making the GPS.
Because they're using like long form radio to triangulate how the distance they are from the long form radio.
It's basically kind of a wide ranging kind of brute force method of trying to get things, but it isn't like, it's
a very basic GPS, but it still tells you what distance you are based on the time it takes for the signal to go, that kind of thing.
We're going actually that just interrupts, like, hey, remember we tried out the radio before and Chrome, you were about to confess your feelings to Rowan, but you went with some stupid lie instead. How about, hey, you won, how about you confess like your feelings for him and it'll be totally cool. And it's like she's about to, and then it's like, it's fucking beeper is driving me crazy. We've got to say something right there. Wait, this is a pattern. This isn't interference. This is some kind of code being sent, a Morse code, if you will. WHY. Naze. Why? And this is kind of where like the bits you want to we've all read the comic, we know what's these kind of bits already, even though what's going time, but it's where like the added like thing of having the audio component of it, it's a bit unsettling. So well done. It's the this how the kind of putting it together, and then the chill runs down their collective spine as the fun. What the fuck? Because we live in a fun stone world, like no one else that we know of besides like us has access to anything to do with this. So where the hell is this happening? Who the hell is sending this? What the fuck did they mean by why? It's really creepy.
Because the episode up to the point had been like that we're rediscovering new things like animal husbandry, we're rediscovering or refinding an oil field that we found before in history. And what that means for people, and it's like you could use the radio to confess your feelings, and it's just like no time for that. We have spooky things, and it just messes with the flow of it's like discovering things, making humanity better, and it's like, wait, that's something else, that's something extra, and the sound is so fucking good in that the way it kind of like the crackling and the Morse code kind of knocks the soundtrack out basically. Just makes it all the more odd that it's kind of seeped its way into the show to become the mood of it.
Yeah, what it feels like now, this show feels like a show that has the confidence that it's adapting a comic that it's finished, and so therefore they know all the beats they need to hit the hardest.
Yes. To
get to the end. And this is definitely one of those big beats that it had hard, and it hits out of the park with that. Say with the sound, it's the the Morse code is first of all the interference is creepy, and then the Morse code repeating is creepy, and then everyone's slowly realizing what it means that this is. And Sengoku voices the conclusion that the people sending this are the people who petrified mankind.
It's just how it happens out in the middle of the water as well, completely isolated from everything else, and then it's just like
it's the contrast of Chrome going. I've never been so far out at sea. I've never been surrounded entirely by water like that I couldn't see the land. And it's this thing of like, wow, we've come so far as humanity. But then it's like the thing of you're all alone out here, that kind of fucking thing. It changes like the positive things to be like this disturbing thing. It's such an excellent fucking mood change for the end of the episode.
Because again, like, you know, as far as they know, they're the only ones out here. But now it's got this like this thing of fun saying, wow, someone or something is watching us. It's fucking like outer. We can't see it. Maybe they can see us somehow. And it's fucking the year 5000.
Yeah. Then we got the thing I did manage to watch this week, Ranking of Kings, The Treasure Chest of Courage, Episode 2, Beasts of the Wilderness, A Mysterious Desert. I saw a little bit of the start, so I know it's set during the time the guard from the underworld are taking the lads back to the kingdom.
They're riding off, it's back to the kingdom.
They're on the way back, and it's basically like, wow, says Kage, we must be nearly there by now. And it's like, no, says the captain, we're only halfway there. We have lots of time for adventures on the way.
Well, across the desert, this mysterious desert, and there are monsters around, so be careful, everybody. Don't wander off at night. Like Kage does when he sees a strange silhouette of a monster roaming around. It's like,
he's initially going to take a piss, but he does come on. I gotta wake up Boji. We gotta go find this monster. We gotta go. We're gonna get distracted from sleeping and then getting back to your kingdom and shit. It's just like, but there's a monster. We gotta go check it out, Boji. And they find what seems to be an abandoned college that's been wrecked, and it's like, okay, I wonder if the monster did this. And there's a family cowering in the corner. It's like, oh, did the monster get you? And they're like, monster, and 3 big burly bandits, one of them who looks very like Bluto, show up.
I was like, oh, I see you must have like scared out the monster with a big sword you left behind here as well. Yeah, I see. But say, no, you dumb kids, this is a mugging. We're robbing you. This is a robbery. If I'm saying robbery, what?
I'm taking your little dumb crown off your little dumb head and putting it in my back pocket. What are you going to do about it? And Boji's going to pull out his sword and kick some ass.
It's going to be the cutest little Kenshiro you've ever seen in your life. It's just like, fun. Give me my rapier, and he's just going to fun hit the fucking hitting pressure point to make him fall down real good. But saying, I give. Okay, if you give, he fucking gives, but say, ha, get out of the way. Get my knife to this girl's throat. What are you going to do now?
Kage demonstrates his ability to turn into a cactus that he did earlier on for fun. And he spits a bunch of needles, which Boji grabs one, is like, all of these are swords to Boji. So dispatches the bandits, the captain of the guard kind of catches up with him.
He takes a dude out and fun takes the crown back. Thank you very much.
He does take his crown back. Yeah. But the captain's kind of like, oh, you shouldn't have went off on your own, but you did take care of those bandits, so good job, Prince Boji. Come on, we got to go back on the road. And they're like, I wonder what that creature was that we saw earlier. I guess we'll never find out.
Should we tell him? No, he was sleepwalking again, but you shouldn't make a sleepwalker. It's probably best to leave him a go. It's just like, oh man.
The other guards are very aware that the captain like wanders around like a creepy monster while he's asleep. Which is very stupid, but it's fun. Then part 2, they're still in the desert.
Trucking on through a sandstorm, but through that we get deposited at an oasis. Oh, great! Just what we needed, an oasis full of weird creatures.
Hey, Boji, these are like those weird creatures we saw that with that weird king that was dancing in the fucking wilderness that one time.
Yeah.
Boji's like, yeah, fuck it is. All right.
That's the one little like thing that might have, that's an interesting little thing to tie into like the main body this way and saying, oh yeah, whatever happened to that weirdo insane forest king? We ever get back to him? I hope so.
But yeah, they're like weird animals. It's like that one looks kind of like a dog, but it doesn't have a face because it's made out of weird colors and swirls and stuff. And the captain's like, stay away from him. It's a weird creature that might bite you. But all of his men have already started. I've already started petting all the weird creatures, and it's just like, well, it's probably fine then. Until there's a giant weird creature and they're running away from the weird creature, but wouldn't you know it, it's just the mama weird creature
pretending it's young.
It's little baby. I mean, like debatable because they all seem related in some regard or another. And then they all get sucked up by a cyclone, which is also a weird creature.
Yeah, and then the oasis is gone. This is as soon as it appears, as easy as it appears. It's Spanish, if I'm saying, wow, that's a serious, mysterious desert. Yeah.
Well, let's get back to getting to the kingdom, which is in series 1. Yeah.
It was interesting to kind of like touch back on and like, oh yeah, the fun weird things about someone right there, and even particularly like the big one is a lot like the Night Walker out of Princess Mononoke or some crap.
Yeah, it has those kind of vibes from it.
This
unearthly
quality
of the forest as well, or spirit creatures of the oasis in this case. But yeah, it's an interesting one. There's not. It's adding to stuff we've already kind of established in the world, but it's just like, yeah, we're just hanging out with the characters more. Don't you want to see Boji kick some guy's ass? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And don't you want to see the captain of the Order of the Underworld? No, he's like the boss man. He's a big idiot as well.
Yeah.
Because even he can't help himself. It's just like, oh well, if it's a little bunny, I suppose it's all right. I'm probably okay.
It's the thing. It's the standard thing of it's like we already like these characters. You really don't. You just have to let us hang out with them and not really do much with it. And it's just like, yeah, you're just going to end up me liking the show. It's not big or clever or trying to do anything, or even like the first series did fail to do things in some regards. But it's just been fun. That's
we did. Just these little asides that feel like, oh, here's a ranking of kings that's suitable for maybe younger viewers. There's a lot less
true.
royal treachery and child sacrifice involved. At least in the story so far.
There's been nothing particularly violent so far. Yeah.
This is the actual kind of storybook stories that the storybook looking vibe might give off. These are the actual little adventures, little mini adventures, little tiny bit of a little tiny king.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got MASHLE, Magic and Muscles, episode 3, Mash Burnedead and the Baleful Bully. What's this bully's name? I can't remember now.
It doesn't really matter because he's just someone Clive or something like that.
Yeah.
Typical, my dad works for the Ministry of Magic. I could have you expelled by Honolulu.
So everyone's scared of him. Yeah.
So yeah, he's introduced because it's broom. Learn how to fly a broom class, which Mash breaks a record. This guy challenges him to a race, and he's like, ha, I'm going to humiliate this guy.
I've been brooming since fucking
middle
school. These guys are he's transferred. He's only learning how to broom now. And Mash, as his roommate saw, is like, I saw him throw it like a javelin, run to catch up with it, jump really on fast.
It. Finn's got fucking good eyesight to catch all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you fucking frame by frame breakdown to catch that.
I did wonder whether this was the events in the current chapter were timed specifically so it would match the events of this episode on the anime, because Finn also spots him doing something really fast in the current chapter of the comic. And I was like, wow, it's a bit of synchronicity.
And he's also saying, it's just like back then.
Yeah.
So Finn's always gets been the kind of the speed wagon for MASH, just like relating things, amazing things he has done and tell people about them.
I mean, like in this case, he's speed wagoning the jokes to us, which is good. It's a good kind of speed wagoning.
Because it's moving so fast, we can't see it. You have to have somebody to explain it to him. So the teacher thinks he's like broken the world record for flying a broom, which then leads this bully to be bullied by the real bully because he was supposed to humiliate him. And now look what's happened. And hey, kids, I want you to come and meet me after school. Get it? Okay, Mash, you got to come and meet me after school. Mash does not meet him after school because he's too busy making cream puffs.
It's like, I'm sure there was something else I was supposed to be doing, but I'm currently making cream puffs, which is my favorite thing. So I could not possibly remember what that is.
And then throughout the day, he's finding his textbooks have been torn up, and the hints are there for the viewer to realise that Finn's being bullied by the bully, and he's the one ruining Mash's books.
Because that's what the guy was doing with the broom guy earlier. It's like, I'm not going to bully you directly. I'm going to bully someone to bully you.
Laying it on thick of fun, saying, Finn, you're a really good dude. I'm glad to have you as a friend of fun. Saying, stop saying that, Mash. I'm the one who's messing up your textbooks.
So the bully's like, hey, Mash, you were supposed to meet me after school. He's like, right, yeah. And he's like, I tell you what, I can get you in good because my fucking dad is in the Ministry of fucking magic kind of shit. I'll put in a good. yeah, I can get in a good fucking word for you. You just, I mean, like, and we can just be friends. It's like, cool. Would you do me a favor though? Would you give me a drink? Would you polish my shoes? Would you fucking lick my boots? Would you fucking do all the menial shit for me? And Mash is like, yeah, sure.
And of course, the line of the episode is that Mash is going to be perfectly happy doing all these things for a bully, but as soon as he sees the bully bullying Finn, then the tables will be turned and faces will be smashed.
It's so fucking good because it's the thing of, you know, he's actually like, he's got like some sort of stitching magic that he can stitch people or together or like tie people down and that kind of shit, and he's mashing his friend's face into the ground, and he's just like, hey Mash, I was just kicking this fucking peon's fucking ass. I tell you what, I'm having dinner with the fucking dean tonight. You want to come in? I mean, like, it's a good fucking opportunity, you know, make some fucking connections, that kind of thing. And Mash just smashing his face, and he's just like, no, I don't fucking put up to that thing. I just think it was like, wait a minute, maybe that was a very bad idea, what I just did now. Like,
I saw
like,
everything. I'm the vice principal. Don't you know somebody of your social standing doesn't belong in this school? I'll have you expelled. What are you doing to me? I'm burying you. What are you doing to me? Well, as fast as you can expel me, I can still, like, bury you. I don't need to be going to school to do that. If I'm saying, this is highly irregular.
Like, it's like, I could bury you alive whenever I want. Like, right now, I'm not going to stop burying you. And the principal's like, I assume you know why I brought you here, Mash. And it's like, it's because I was
making without permission. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's like, absolutely not. That is not illegal.
Actually.
It was burying the vice principal. That's why you're here.
Why did you do it, Mash? But saying, well, basically he was being a dick, and I don't like that. But saying, that's right. The magic world is full of dicks, and we need more people like you willing to put their ass in the line, you know, against these kind of dicks, no matter what the consequences are. So I'm gonna have you be my boy. I'm gonna have you go around and basically mess shit up for me. I'll smooth things over with the board. Don't worry about that.
Listen, they might be in control of the magical world, but I'm the fucking principal of this school, so you're staying in. And everything you do is a wild renegade thing that I 100% approve of. And I hope one day you could be a divine visionary. Mash is like, I was already going to be a divine visionary. He's like, that's the fucking, that's the attitude I want to fucking see. Like, talk back to me constantly. I love it. You can do no wrong, Mash.
Hurt daddy good.
And then he gets recruited after this by another idiot, a guy who Mash says
a bigger idiot than
stupider than I am. Yes.
Yeah, because he's a jock, and he's like, I gotta get you on the fucking wizard football team. Come on, we gotta go. And he's like, I can't ride a broom. He's like, that's right, you're gonna play wizard football. Let's go.
He's so close to being just exactly the same character as in Psyche K, the sports guy in Psyche K. They've almost got
it's
exactly,
a type, yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's almost the same design. It's definitely the same personality. Yeah, just somebody who's just super into sports and is trying to get everybody else into the sports as well, and not hearing what anybody else is saying to him.
He's just that excited for sport. So it's the big match. House, whatever. We've been introduced to the houses in this case, but not like they haven't been like sorted into any particular dorms or anything yet, as far as I know. Like, they don't have the logos on the back.
No,
but Mash, a first year, is playing for the fucking football team, and everyone's like, yay, cheering, except for like, what's that one fucking guy doing? Why is he just standing there? Go home, you suck. And he's like, I just want to go home.
He's getting
just defeated immediately.
So yeah, Mash next episode is going to have to figure out how he can fly.
Yeah, I assume he's going to do it by being jacked, like he does everything in life.
I've read it, but I read so many chapters in close succession that I can't remember exactly how this plays out.
Yeah, it'll be a bit before his kids to kind of orbit the kind of gravity of this, like, here's him at school. Here's a typical school teams with bullies and then teams and that, and it gets into where basically we bring in like Lance and Dot, and the people you see in the opening and closing credits. They're really pushing like Lemon as being like he's going to be like one of the gang, even though I think she shows up like a number of times I can count on my hand at least. But I guess you got to have a girl Chan in there to try and balance this thing out. I mean, doesn't make the end credits any less fun having her.
Yeah, she gets to sing the end theme. I mean, like, that's pretty good, I guess.
I guess you gotta give her something, but it's not going to be as prominent in this thing as you may be given reason to believe from everything so far.
Yeah,
Don't
and
get too attached.
it continues to be very funny with the sounds as well. Like I like the again the rap increasing as Mash fucking deals out swift justice to the bully, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that." And the music like just kicks out. It's like, "Oh, sorry." It's good.
Yeah, I've heard it's been kind of described as workmanlike, but I think there's a lot of elements are kind of doing the lifting for it.
Yeah.
Then finally, we've got Birdie Wing, episode 16, The Strange Fates of Two Generations of Young People Who Were Caught Up in the Ego of Adults. Adults.
So is this like the premise that the show that they actually wanted to do?
Do we want like another pass to the episode title? Can we like edit that down, something more concise?
It loses a lot in the translation.
I work in first class. That's why this thing is so bananas crazy.
Yeah, so everything that you would be, if anybody with decent abilities to understand the media they're watching will have picked up on, is explained crystal clear in this episode.
If you ever watched a soap opera, well, you're all caught up then.
Everything is explained explicitly to the characters, except for the characters who are lied to because they want to believe the beautiful lie because of the drama. You know how it is. Yeah.
Right, essentially, the granddad's the villain of
Didn't expect him to be such a cunt. Yeah, that was kind of a surprise. All right.
Yeah, so he's the mum, Aoi's mum, and the Aoi's dad, who is not the person she thinks is her dad. It is Amuro.
Amuro. Yeah.
Amuro Ray, Coach Amuro Ray is a real dad, and Kazuhiko, the golf champion, is Eve's dad.
Yes.
So the granddad of well, like actually, is he
always granddad?
Yes.
Yeah. No, he's actually Eve's granddad though, isn't he?
No, he's not. No, Eve's not.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to fucking get my shit together, and I was like, wait, who's?
I got sued.
No.
You're right.
Eve's dad took his name when he married into the family.
Yeah, to keep the family name going, that kind of thing. But like, basically, he's like, I'm making a new line of golf, and I need you three young golfers to be like the super champions of Japan golf and global golf.
Yes.
Because we can't just be winners; you need to be legends. And I'm gonna put these two young fucking golfers out to stud, and whoever wins the American Open or something like that is gonna marry my daughter and continue my golf progeny. And his daughter's like, yeah, but I love that one specific guy. Well, then he needs to win the American Open or whatever the fucking golf tournament is.
And he's doing great until his terminal yips make him collapse at the.
My golf disease! Like it collapses on like the
final hole.
One of the limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so your man wins by default because he has to go to hospital, which is like, I guess that's a win. Okay.
So and then the other one's been around Europe for 5 years. He comes back.
Like he's married to her, but he hasn't been back to Japan in fucking years.
The initial prize is that eventually you would get to marry Sarah.
Yeah. But, I mean, like it's set in stone is basically the thing by the grandfather's idea.
We're going to send the winner off to kind of do the US tour, do the European tours, and get the name out there about the brands of them, and also a chance for him to kind of sow some wild oats, because as far as he knows, like, fun. Well, why can't like Amuro and Sarah get married? But no, it isn't what's going to happen now. It isn't what the company wants. But fate will intervene. They won't be apart from each other because they're just going to like punch Cedar right then and there and saying, "What? How dare you having Amuro raised child? I don't care, father. You love him. He's going to be the father of my child. He's going to be the best golfer in the world." Have I got anything to say about it? Because here comes Kazuhiko in the door right now. He is a shell of a man. What the fuck happened to you?
That's the only thing we don't know is why he looks like a shell.
He looks like shit, like he'd lost his life at golf or something. Or I don't know, maybe. Just guessing.
Yeah, because the time like he collapses, he's in hospital. He goes to see him, and then he's learned from Amaru that the mum's pregnant, and he's happy to marry her, but they can't get rid of the child because he wants to keep it.
I'll marry your daughter under one condition: that she has that golf child of Amuro Ray.
I will raise a child as my own.
And so he raises her till she's like 6 or 7. And then he's like, "Oh, I just found out some shit. I gotta go to Europe. I'll be back real soon. I
gotta go to made up Malta again."
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's made up every single country depending on what you want it to be. depending on what the author wants it to be when he uses it in his other anime. Um,
It's mostly made of English pubs, as far as I can tell.
it is,
Yeah.
yes.
That's why I said Malta. So.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
good choice.
Yeah, and turns out that he's got a daughter there with Eleanor Burton, and trains her in golf, and then they all go on a cruise, and it
Well,
crashes.
he did show up at the door because it's Eve, and she's like, "Where's Daddy? Daddy's real busy. He'll be back in a couple of years, maybe." And he kind of shows up tearfully at the door. He's like, "I didn't know. I would have raised you as my one and only daughter." And I was just like, "Dude, kind of dick move. You just raised like a different daughter." As
yeah,
well.
but biologically,
don't say
it's his only daughter.
Biologically, this is your only daughter, but you did raise a different. Don't be a dick about it. I mean, like, I know you were kind of joint dads with Aoi. Not that she knew, but it's kind of a dick thing to say.
Well, the thing is, though, how you try and dance around this thing, because no one Amuro is his bud, no, and this is just like he never wanted to come in between like Sarah and Amuro, but this is what fucking like has happened to him now. So I guess to try and like have Amuro be involved now in his life. Hey, this is my friend. He's a golf coach, and not your dad. He will teach you everything as well you need to know about anything he doesn't know about anything I don't know about golf. This guy has got that down pat. He'll be your other coach, and also stand-in paternal figure when I pass away.
Yeah. So his entire family, and presumably most of the cruise ship, is fucking wiped out where she washes up on Britain, Malta.
Left race.
Yeah. And she's raised by a kindly prostitute who takes her in to become an underground golfer. You know the rest of the story. That was the start of the show.
Then he becomes parareasonable, and he trains her to be like fucking the Go-Go 13 of golf.
You're the child. I will train you to kill at golf. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Now, do you think that he is his own guy, or do you think that's the dad suffering from amnesia after the ship crashed?
Oh, like his hair has gone white, and he's scarred from washing up on a different island, I presume. That would be pretty fun. Like he's become like, I had to go to Gulf War, and now I've come back all fucked up.
Just for the guy up and saying, if between Golf Cup just right, it makes a rainbow too. You gotta shoot your opponent with golf. You gotta put some empty like fucking magazines into them in golf.
Because the basic thing is, she's the inheritor of her father's fucking fighting style of golf, but she was trained by a guy to murder at golf using all the colors of the rainbow. And I'm just like, hang on a second, wouldn't that be like, so he distilled the rainbow into separate kinds of guns you could murder people at golf with? Like he's turned this beautiful thing of sport of golf into a hellscape of golf.
Again, soap opera, amnesia plots. We've already had one amnesia plot of one already been come up and be resolved, and it was a cruise ship accident.
What if her mother was the mafioso who lost her arm in a cruise ship accident at the start of it?
Probably not that, but
I mean, like that would be extreme, but I wouldn't put it past it.
What I was kind of wonderful seeing this accident happened like in the phrase where the golf mafia fucking like homeland is. I thought, oh, did he get whacked by the golf mafia? But I'm not sure they would like blow up an entire cruise ship to take him out. But maybe they would.
We will see, because yes, we go back to Eve and Ao having the conversation, and Eve's point is like, well, I'm telling the truth. If I'm certain you're telling the truth, and you're certain you're telling the truth, who's lying? Someone else is lying.
Yeah, because our truths don't fucking match up. Because your dad, you say, only had you as a kid, and I know he was my dad, and he said I'm his only kid. He specifically told me that, and I'm going to hurtfully say that back to you.
I'm not backing down.
So someone's fucking lying, aren't they, Aoi? I guess we're enemies now, aren't we, Aoi?
Hey, double tournament is over. We're going to settle this on the links. You hear me?
So yeah.
And again, when they broadcast the award ceremony for the all girls under 15 Japan Open or whatever the fuck, I was just like, they could watch that in Malta. Why the fuck aren't the Japanese? Or sorry, the golf mafia.
That was always the fear. That was always the fear. Like, if she got her face out there too much, they're gonna hunt her down, and they're going to, because when there's going to be a tournament that brings them back in their face in the very next episode, so they have an opportunity right then and there to get back in.
But yeah, so she's going to confront her mum, but is it when? Yes, before she gets there, she's been told by the other girl
the caddy.
that she'd met Eve previously in another tournament when she was using a different name, and the surname she was using causes the mum to have a flashback as to not get involved with a company by that name because they're run by the Yakuza, and that means she's going to have to lie to her daughter again because she doesn't want to get involved in this with this girl who's connected to the Yakuza.
I can't let Eve be involved in the tournament. Ma'am, are you my real ma'am? So, yeah. Is Dad a real? Yes, I am. Okay. One question. Can Eve be involved in the tournament and say, no, it's one thing I said I wouldn't let to happen just minutes ago. Shit.
I'm telling you this lie right now because I don't want you to play golf with that miscreant.
And then if you watch the
hussy.
And then you watch the next episode preview, and it's like, well, I've been deported from Japan.
What? Syphilitic Vipera is back. Hey, she's going to take you around town. She's going in her sweet car. We're going to talk about it. No. Girl to girl.
Now the scene in the opening thing where her friend and her caddy are arm wrestling in that pub. I was just like, how could that scene happen? It's like, oh, because she gets deported. Okay, perfect.
They've changed lots of things. Well, not lots of things, but a couple of things in the opening credits now. So that little scene over there. But it didn't remove Vipera, okay, because she's coming back in the next episode. It didn't remove Rose either. So again, we thought she got gunned down in retaliation for her betrayal of the golf mafia, but we didn't see no body, did we? And
maybe they shot off her other arm and she's gonna be a golf cyborg. Come on, let's fucking go.
We could rebuild her with golf equipment. Yeah, and so while Yo is having like a very dramatic conversation with her mum, Eve and I can't remember the other girl's name are engaging in horseplay at the baths.
Oh, it was touching me! Oh my God, stop it!
They're having the post-tournament fun time where they don't know all this drama is happening and going to affect their lives as well. Yeah. Which is very a funny way to frame that, because Aoi coming in out of the rain is like, mother, is father really my father? That kind of thing. It's just like very drama, dicking around. Good contrast. Yeah.
I suppose like Eve, already very confident, is now doubly confident and saying, "I know who I am, but do you know who you are?" I don't think you do, and you think you better find out, otherwise we're going to be enemies.
If it wasn't for the fact that they're like now sworn golf enemies, she'd be such a dick character who you'd hate because she's such I'm a hard ass fucking rebel and I don't play by anyone else. And it was just like, yeah, but you're a ridiculous character in a ridiculous fucking anime in a ridiculous world. She's a good character, yeah. And
fucking Aoi seems much more busted up by the revelation that they're half sisters. So it's like no fun. Eve's like fun saying, well, I did feel a kinship with you, fun saying, I felt more than a kinship with you. But now it is forbidden.
Yeah.
Ichida, that's her name. I wonder if she's going to follow Eve when she gets deported, because she has very much...
I'm not going to be any caddy. I'm going to be your caddy. Is her thing, I assume.
And also because she's the only one who admits that she's in love with Eve out loud. I mean, I'm pretty certain she knows nothing's going to happen there, but she will admit it out loud.
At least she can be there for her and advise which club she should use for the next fucking thing. Yeah.
It's been interesting watching this in parallel with Gundam Witch from Mercury, because here's TNC's both coming back after a bit of a break, and it's a kind of right, the back half of these kind of things can sometimes be a little bit lesser at that. But they both about 2 or 3 episodes in it, I'm just going to tear the bandage off what was clearly foreshadowed all this time rather than stringing it along, and just want to get down to the business of what's the juicy details going to happen right now. And also now with this, both about being manipulated by your parents.
Also, they're both about a girls' academy for mech battles, except one is golf.
And
are the parents being manipulated by their parents, though?
There's a lot of parental manipulation going on. I haven't seen any grandparents then. There's a lot of old folks they've adopted this this kid to be the scion of the company. I remember adopting this orphan who was half from Earth, and we were all a space colony. The usual kind of Earth and space discrimination that comes up in Gundam things. How was I to know that he would betray me based upon his earthly lineage and try and fuck me over and take over my bit of the company and use it to, commit terrorist acts? But they're good terrorists because they're based on Earth, but it's a shithole, and we're taking care of the orphans, and all we've got are mobile suits and a very old Famicom with that's the only video games we have right here. It's tough being an orphan on Earth.
Yeah, I gotta say though, Birdie Wing continues to not disappoint with its just fucking madness in a good way. And again, none of this came out of the fucking left field. It was all very well foreshadowed and everything that you could figure it out. But the dramatic way that it plays out is just so well done.
Mm.
And that's it for this week. We will be back next week with the last episode of Uncle from Another World. I think it's 12, isn't it? It's not.
No, there's 13.
Oh, it's
I think.
13. 13. Yes,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
starting at 7 or 8 or whatever. Yeah.
Mm.
Gotcha. So 2 more before we get back to Golden Camway. Because that's
Which
the
by the time then, like, you know, that this lined up at the rebroadcast will be new
Yes.
Golden Camway. Just hard to presses.
It started at the start of April, so yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, they got 6 episodes in, and we're doing 6 episodes of Uncle from Another World.
Yeah. So that
while that's airing, so I think we should line up. Exactly. Righty-ho, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with more of the same. The stream held up. Excellent condition.
Good.
Bon voyage. Happy golfing.